Welcome back to our channel. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day, but I am literally typing this up at 2 a.m. because I cannot sleep after watching the latest General Hospital. We need to talk, vent, and maybe scream a little bit because this episode was an absolute roller coaster of emotions and I have opinions. I can't believe they are doing this to Anna Devane again. And I mean seriously, are we really playing the nobody believes the legendary spy because she's in a mental health facility card? Anna just sat down with Felicia Scorpio privately and dropped the absolute bombshell that Nathan West is actually a fraud. She told her straight up that he is Cassius Faison, Nathan's secret twin brother, and that he has completely taken over Nathan's life. But of course, Felicia is looking at her like she has three heads. I get it. Anna has been through hell for the last 9 months. She was kidnapped, gaslit, drugged by Cullum and Sidwell, and made to believe Faison was alive. But she is Anna Devane. Her instincts are always spot on. It is so frustrating watching Felicia brush this off as paranoia and confusion. I was screaming at my screen. Listen to her, Felicia. And what makes it worse is that Anna is pushing Felicia to at least look into the theory for James West's sake. If that doesn't light a fire under Felicia, I don't know what will. James is living with a man who is literally the son of Caesar Faison, pretending to be his dead father. It makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. Felicia is a mother and a grandmother, and she has been tangled up in Faison's sick games for decades. You would think the mere mention of Faison's bloodline being near James would have her on high alert. I know Felicia is mulling it over, and she might finally realize that there are things about Nathan that have never quite added up despite the so-called evidence. But she needs to move faster. Then we have Emma Scorpio Drake coming into the mix, having another conversation with Anna and pushing for some information. But Anna is keeping what she told Felicia completely under wraps. Which is honestly so smart, because Emma does not need to be tangled up in this deadly WSB mess. Anna is protecting her granddaughter, even while her own mind is recovering from psychological torture. But Felicia needs to wake up and do the heavy lifting here. Am I the only one who is so tired of the secret twin trope, but also weirdly obsessed with how they are pulling it off this time? Remember when they did this with Jason and Drew? Yeah, that was a mess for years. Or Kevin and Ryan Chamberlain. But Cassius Faison taking over Nathan's life is just a whole new level of twisted. I've been watching since 2015, and I have to say, the psychological horror of Cassius just slipping into Nathan's shoes, fooling everyone including Liesl Obrecht for a hot minute, is wild. But now the walls are closing in on him, and I am so here for his downfall. Because let's talk about Ross Cullum. I despise this man. I really do. He is the dirtiest WSB agent they have ever written, and he proves it again on Tuesday. In the preview for Monday's episode, Cullum literally gives Cassius fatal orders. He hears about the address that Jen Sidwell could use as his new hideout, and he warns Cassius that he is counting on him. Cullum looks him dead in the eye and says, "You need to be there to make sure Jen Sidwell doesn't walk out of that house alive." All caps, because what is happening? Cullum is just treating Cassius like his personal hitman. Cassius is backed into a terrifying corner. He wanted to just disappear once the Cold Fusion project was up and running, but Cullum is pulling his strings. And let's talk about Sidwell for a second. If Sidwell trades Willow Kane's residence for this other hideout, he could be walking straight into a deadly trap. Sidwell has been harassing Willow at her house, adding to the absolute chaos of her life right now, but if he leaves, he's walking into Cassius's crosshairs. Part of me is like, good riddance. Sidwell is a violent menace who held Lucas Jones at gunpoint, but also a shootout at a hideout? That is classic GH Summer Sweeps material right there, and I am dreading who might get caught in the crossfire. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, back to the point. We need to talk about Danny Morgan. Can we talk about Danny Morgan? This kid is officially entering his action hero era, and I am obsessed. He just thwarted a WSB agent from kidnapping Charlotte Cassadine. Charlotte? The poor girl has been through enough, between her family drama and the whole Valentine situation. But Danny stepping up like a mini Jason is giving me life. I know some people are loving the adult mob drama, but personally, the teens are carrying this storyline right now. Danny is proving he has that Morgan and McCall blood running through his veins. Charlotte is so incredibly smart too. After Danny saves her from the abduction, they have this intense talk, and Charlotte immediately figures out why Cullum is suddenly targeting her. She assumes it's because Cullum needs leverage to stop her dad, Valentine Cassadine, from exposing him as a double agent. And she is 100% right. Cullum is desperate. He knows his entire Cold Fusion project and his dirty WSB dealings are about to blow up in his face. But guess what, Cullum? You're too late. Valentine is already on a plane to see Z, the head of the WSB, for a visit in Geneva regarding how dirty Cullum is. I am so nervous for Valentine because Z could easily just throw him back into Steinmauer prison. But Valentine's sacrificing his freedom to protect Carly, Jocelyn, and Charlotte is the kind of character growth I have been begging for. He is putting everything on the line, and Cullum's desperate attempt to snatch Charlotte just proves how terrified the WSB director really is. But it gets even more frustrating when you look at the adults in Port Charles. While Danny is out here saving lives and playing spy games, Alexis Davis and Sonny Corinthos are having a whole serious discussion about Danny's latest WSB drama. Sonny is stressing the importance of leaving Danny in the dark on something. We all know this ties into Rocco Falconeri's role in shooting Cullum. Sonny and Alexis are sitting there, sipping their drinks or whatever, acting like they can control the narrative and protect the innocent teenagers. I am laughing so hard because Danny already knows. He knows the absolute truth. Thanks to Charlotte eavesdropping on Lulu and Laura, Danny knows that Rocco is the one who pulled the trigger on Cullum, and he knows that Jason Morgan took the fall for Rocco, landing himself in a WSB black site in Jakarta. The irony of Sonny and Alexis trying to protect Danny when Danny is already 10 steps ahead of them is peak General Hospital. The adults constantly underestimate these kids, and it always blows up in their faces. Danny desperately wants a way to help clear Jason's name. And honestly, I don't blame him. Jason has been gone for months, suffering in unimaginable conditions, all to protect Dante and Lulu's kid. Danny feels so betrayed by Rocco's secrecy. Rocco has been lying to his face this whole time while Danny agonized over his father's fate. But Danny is loyal. He is going to do whatever it takes to help his dad, and I am terrified that he is going to put himself directly in Cullum's crosshairs to do it. If Cullum realizes Danny knows the truth about the shooting, Danny's life is in just as much danger as Charlotte's. Now, let's switch gears to the absolute heart attack I had over Britt Westbourne. I was sweating, you guys. I was literally pacing my living room. Cullum had sent those stolen vials to Britt in the British Virgin Islands, and he put poison in them. He assumed Britt was going to be eliminated thanks to her own injection. Britt was so close to falling for Cullum's trick, thinking she was taking her medication to fight off her rapidly returning symptoms. But then, a miracle happened. The police arrived to arrest her before she could inject herself. Oh my god. The relief. I was ready to throw my remote at the TV if they killed off Britt again after we just got her back on our screens. The absolute irony that getting arrested is the thing that saved her life is brilliant writing, I have to admit. She avoided a deadly fate by the skin of her teeth. But of course, the drama doesn't stop there. Britt is saved, which is amazing news, but Rocco is going to be livid. Rocco is going to completely lose his mind when he finds out that Dante and Lulu are the ones who turned Britt in. And I have to say, I kinda side with Rocco on this one, even though he doesn't have all the facts. I mean, yes, Dante and Lulu are his parents, and they were terrified. They wanted their son back from the Caribbean. But Rocco has been on the run, he's traumatized, he shot a WSB director, and he thought he was protecting Britt. From Rocco's perspective, Dante and Lulu just threw his sick friend to the wolves. He doesn't know about the poison vials yet. He just sees his parents having Britt arrested and dragged away. The fallout from this is going to be massive. Dante and Lulu are going to have to do some serious damage control with their son. Rocco is already carrying the immense guilt of Jason taking the fall for his crime, and now he feels like he failed Britt too. This family is going to need so much therapy, and I just know Lulu is going to be incredibly loud and defensive about it. And speaking of families needing therapy, let's talk about the Davis girls. Molly Lansing Davis is confiding in someone, probably Cody Bell, since they've been hanging out a lot lately and he's a kind ear about her parents. Molly is picking up on some clues, and is terrified that Alexis and Rick Lansing are rekindling their romance. I'm sorry, but no. Just no. We do not need a Rick and Alexis reunion in the year of our Lord, 2026. Remember when Rick used to lock people in panic rooms? Remember all the gaslighting and the absolute toxic warfare he waged on everyone in Port Charles? Yeah, didn't work then either. Rick is currently scheming with Sonny, and Alexis is busy trying to keep Curtis Ashford out of prison while dealing with the fallout of Drew acting like a monster. Alexis is finally in a good place, being a fierce lawyer again, taking on Curtis's case against Isaiah Gannon. Why would they drag her back into Rick's toxic orbit? I know some fans love the nostalgia of old couples, and maybe Cody previously suggested it as a joke or an observation, but this is one pairing that needs to stay buried. Molly is right to be worried. She is hoping that they aren't getting back together, but General Hospital spoilers say there could be some wrong clues for her to pick up on. I am praying that Molly is just misinterpreting their interactions. Because if Alexis backslides with Rick, I am going to riot. Alexis deserves so much better than a man who has caused her and her daughters so much pain over the years. Let me circle back to Anna and Cassius for a second, because I have so many thoughts on how this is going to play out. How exactly is Anna going to prove that Nathan is Cassius? She's stuck in a clinic in France. Her credibility is completely shot. But this is where I think Valentine comes in. If Valentine gets to Z in Geneva and exposes Cullum's entire operation, the Cold Fusion Project, the kidnapping of Liesel Obrecht, the hit on Sidwell, the dominoes are going to fall. Cassius's fake Nathan identity is tied directly to Cullum's blackmail. Once Cullum goes down, Cassius is exposed. And what about Jocelyn and Liesel? They are still locked up at Windermere. Carly and Lucas are planning this insane rescue mission. Carly just confessed everything to Lucas, and he is fully on board. But if Cassius is getting fatal orders from Cullum to kill Sidwell, what is stopping Cullum from ordering Jocelyn's death next? We already know Cullum pressured Cassius to kill Jocelyn before. The stakes are just astronomically high right now, and I am terrified that someone is not going to make it out of Windermere alive. All of this is building up to Jason Morgan's return on July 13th for the 16,000th episode. And let me tell you, I am counting down the days. Jason is going to come back a changed man after surviving that black site in Jakarta. When he finds out that Danny has been running around playing spy, thwarting kidnappings, and that Sonny was trying to keep secrets from him, Jason is going to clean house. The dynamic between Jason, Sonny, and Danny is going to be the absolute highlight of the summer. I cannot wait to see Jason's reaction to Danny stepping up and being the hero. Overall, this episode was a 10/10 for me, purely based on the anxiety it gave me. From Britt almost poisoning herself, to Danny saving Charlotte like a total boss, to Anna fighting for the truth in a French asylum, this is the General Hospital I love. I am dreading the potential Rick and Alexis reunion, but I am absolutely here for the downfall of Ross Cullum and Cassius Faison. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I am going out of my mind waiting for tomorrow's episode.